Okay, welcome back, everybody. Hope you had a nice Christmas break. I'm going to make a little video just to welcome you to the second semester, going over the syllabus, instructional policy stuff, the admin stuff, and letting you know kind of what the semester is going to look like and what the plan for the first couple weeks is going to look like. As you remember, I'm taking the first 2 weeks this semester off for paternity leave, and so we'll talk about that a little bit in this video. The first thing is let's talk. Just going back a little bit to last semester. Great job last semester. I could not have been happier with how the final exams went. I think I sent an email out to all of you in December. Mr. Almashni has all your graded final exams. I think about half of you picked them up from me during finals week back in December. But he's got them. If you want to just see him, and he'll give you back the graded final exam, you can keep it. If you don't want it, then they'll stay in Mr. Almashni's closet. This semester is going to seem pretty similar in some ways to last semester in that there are kind of 3 big units. And so we'll have 3 tests this upcoming semester, plus the final exam. The 3 big units I just want to talk a little bit about. The first unit is something called polymorphism, which I think I've alluded to before. It's the idea that certain classes can be based on other classes. That's what we're going to be spending quite a bit of time over the first kind of month of January talking about. The second unit is about 2-dimensional arrays. That's basically a grid. And then the third unit is something I'm calling the odds and ends unit. There's lots of little topics that don't sort of fit into any one of the other bigger units we've done and don't really warrant their own big unit. So things like recursion, we'll spend a couple of days on that. We'll finally learn what static means. Little things like that. So it ends up being kind of a, leftover night, cleaning out the kitchen after, and having leftovers. Probably about 8 or 10 little odds and ends that kind of are only unified in that they don't really fit in anywhere else. So we'll have one test on polymorphism somewhere around, late January, early February. A test on 2D arrays about a month after that. A test on odds and ends about a month after that. And that'll give us about a month or so to review for the AP exam, which is in early May. We won't always have a review test, but we'll be reviewing a lot. And then we'll have our final exam also. So that gives you some overview. Lots of good projects, some little fun 10-pointers, lots of fun 40-pointers. We'll do asteroids and the polymorphism unit, some other really fun stuff. So I think you'll really enjoy this semester now that you've kind of gotten your, it ends up being kind of a little bit more about problem solving now that you've mastered all the syntax. Remember, the plan for these 2 weeks is I'm going to be gone on paternity leave, and so I've spent a lot of time arranging various guest lecturers to come in that'll each be taking 1 day of class. And I've really prepped them for what they'll be doing with you, how it fits into the overall plan for the first couple of weeks. And I think, because they're all kind of coming 1 day, I've met with all of them, and they're really going to bring it on their 1 day. There will be a Sacred Heart teacher in the room, kind of taking attendance and stuff. Obviously, these people are doing me a huge favor by coming in to talk to you guys. So really be on your best behavior, be nice and respectful. Really, they all know the stuff, so feel free to ask them questions. Kind of, I could not have been happier at the way you guys behaved last semester. So kind of give them the same respect you would give me. You're welcome to ask them questions about, what their lives are, either in college or in a couple of cases after college. I think it should be really great, but obviously be on your best behavior. Another thing is, they're doing the best job they can. I know you guys really well. I know what you know because I've taught you all the stuff. They're coming in for 1 day, and every once in a while, even in my class, something goes wrong technologically or an example doesn't quite work right. Give them the benefit of the doubt. My hunch is that something over the next 2 weeks might not go right, and obviously try to be really helpful as best you can. But they certainly know the stuff really, really well. So in terms of the curriculum, they're set. But try to give them some assistance if a laptop fails or the projector's not working. Let's just all kind of rally together and do the best job we can. You are going to have homework over the next couple weeks, and it's basically one big homework assignment. Remember last semester how every one of your tests was basically a free response type problem. We never really talked about multiple choice, and a couple times some of you said, hey, Kamo, what about this multiple choice? Well, your homework is going to be looking at some multiple choice. And so what I'm going to do is up on Schoology, and you'll see that if you go there, I've put 2 old multiple choice sections. And your homework is going to be to do all those problems in the sense of have you learn about what multiple choice problems look like. You will not be doing every single problem in those multiple choice sections because, not surprisingly, we're only halfway through the year. So there's, about half the multiple choice problems you won't be able to do because you don't know the topic yet. So what I'm going to ask you to do is do those problems on a sheet of paper. So in a couple weeks, you'll turn in just, problem 1, the answer is B, problem 2, the answer is C. I've provided a solution key to that so you can check your answers before you turn it in. I've also made a couple of videos explaining some of the solutions to some of the trickier problems and kind of the general kind of way multiple choice questions in computer science work. This is all due the first day back, and so my vision is you could work on it a little bit each day. If you just did, a few multiple choice questions each day for the next 2 weeks, you would be fine, rather than having, 2 hours of homework the day before I come back would not be the way to go. And again, I've made you a solution key, guys, and I've made a couple of videos explaining things. So the philosophy here is feel free to talk to each other, discuss the problems. I want just to get you comfortable with the idea of, what are these multiple choice questions? What do they look like? What are the kind of things that they're generally asking you to do? What are some of the techniques? Really, it's much more about a learning experience than getting the right answer, since, my gosh, I've given you the right answers. Today, we're actually going to, there's another video right after this. So as soon as you're done with this video, I think you should just go on to the very next one. I said that unit number 0 is on polymorphism and unit number 1 is on two-dimensional arrays. But weirdly today we're going to start with just 2 days this semester on two-dimensional arrays. Then we're going to leave that behind and do all of polymorphism, and then we'll pick up 2D arrays when I'm back in February. But I wanted to start with 2D arrays instead of polymorphism because polymorphism is a whole big brand new topic. Lots of new syntax, lots of new ideas. 2D arrays very much build on one-dimensional arrays, or rather arrays, like we did last semester. So I thought it would be a little bit, because a lot of you written code during all of Christmas break, I thought it might be nicer to begin with a little bit of 2D arrays just because they're more familiar to you right now. Certainly nothing you need to master. Like I said, we have a whole unit coming us on 2D arrays, but I thought just might make more sense to begin with this today, just because it's more familiar. So that ends this video. Welcome back, you guys. And the next thing you should do in class today is just fire up the next video. Next video might ask you to take a few notes on two-dimensional arrays. It's a little bit longer than this one. But go ahead and watch that video, and that will explain two-dimensional arrays to you. And then you'll have a little activity after that. Thanks so much, you guys. Welcome back, and hope you had a nice Christmas and a nice New Year's. And I miss you guys for these 2 weeks. Bye.